Dear students, about wireless mobile communication. In the last class, we discussed about the wireless LAN. Is it not? We discussed about the wireless LAN, that is IEEE 802.11. IEEE 802.11. So in 802.11, in the last class, we have seen the different versions, different technologies. 802.11 with different versions. Okay, and we also discussed about the protocol architecture and physical layer and about the MAC and about the MAC. Okay, that is, so we discussed, and the next class we are going to discuss about the GSM. Okay, so the next class we are going to discuss about the GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication. GSM, mobile communication. Okay, so most of us know, are very familiar with how we are using the mobile, is it not? How we are using, what are the features of the mobiles and what are the limitations of the mobiles, is it not? So here we are going to discuss about that, about a GSM. Here the GSM specification of is telecommunication standard such as GSM. The first step is, of course, the definition of the services offered by the system. What are the system providing the services? We can call, we can receive, we can send SMS, and we can receive SMS, and we can send the video, audio, text. So the same, all the topics we are going to discuss about this GSM. Okay. See, in broad terminology, the GSM terminology of communications, it is explaining, it is divided into two broad categories. Two broad categories, that is barrier services. Barrier services is one thing, and teleservices. Okay. So what are the barrier services? That how we are going to use the services. How, for example, we are going to use the online shopping and this and that. What are the services that we are going to provide? Okay, for a customer like us. And what are the second one? What are the different teleservices? What are the different services we are using for television and watching and doing like that? Okay, so barrier services are telecommunication services providing the capability of transmission of signals between access points. That is, what are the access points that we are having, and that is user network interfaces. We are having the access points, that is user network interfaces. Okay, in ISDN. Okay, international standard, you know that. Okay, and teleservices, it is going to see what we are going to watch the teleservices. Okay, so what just now, it is the barrier services and it is the teleservices. There exist several categories of barrier services, that is unrestricted digital information and a pad and a packet enables. Okay, unrestricted digital information is about is designed to offer a peer-to-peer digital link. Okay, that is what digital market, it is going to use the peer-to-peer, the person to person, it is using the barrier services. Okay, and this is using for 3.1 kilohertz external to the PLMN and provides a UDI. Okay, that is unrestricted digital information service is providing for this. Okay, and this pack pad is also allowing the asynchronous connection. Is going to give the allows the asynchronous connection to the packet. Okay, and this packet enables a synchronous connection to access a PSBDN. Okay, that is public networking area. Okay, see, this is about the teleservices. Just now I told you what are the different teleservices that we can receive, we can watch for through the television. Okay, between two compatible terminals. Okay, apart from this, barrier services and tele services. The supplementary service also we are using with through the GSM. That is, supplementary services include several forms of call forward, such as when you are calling to somebody, so the call is busy or something happened, you can get the different messages, is it not? Different messages that you receive is known as the supplementary services, okay, such as call forwarding when the mobile subscriber is unreachable, and caller identification, call waiting, multi-party conversation. These are all the supplementary services. Okay, not directly you are communicating. When you are able, you want to communicate, but you are not able to communicate, you will get some information, is known as the supplementary services. Okay, so if you see the GSM network architecture, how the architecture is going to be. Okay, see, this is the network architecture, that is a GSM network architecture. Okay, so here it is divided into the three categories, that is OSS, NSS and BSS. What is OSS? OSS is the operation and support of subsystem. Operation and support of subsystem. Okay, and NSS is the network and switching subsystem. See here, networking, NSS is networking and switching subsystem. Okay, and BSS is base station subsystem. BSS is base station subsystem. This architecture is divided into three categories: OSS and NSS and BSS. Okay, so here in networking switches and subsystem, again it is going to explain about that AUC. Okay, AUC is authentication center, where you have to give the authentication center to home connection register, home location register, to home location register. Okay, so through home location register, again it is going to visitor location register, VLR, visitor location register, and this mobile services switching system. Okay, VLR to mobile switching service system, and to equipped identity register, equipped identity register. Okay, where we are here, equipment location register. Okay, in BSS we are having the BCS. Okay, so that is base switching system, and BTS, it is base transceiver system. BTS is for base transceiver system, and from base transceiver system to SIM and this microstation. SIM, we are going to receive the call through the micro systems. Okay, so these are the abbreviations are there that here mentioned here. What is GSM, what is NSS, what is BSS, okay, base station, everything, right? And we can consider this is also one more the architecture of GSM. Okay, so what is it is explaining about how the transmission is going from the station to the person to the SIM. Okay, so like that. Okay, BTS, everything is same, but this is also one way of the architecture is explaining. Okay, so what are the things are there in network switching subsystem? Network switching subsystem. So network switching subsystem is explaining about mobile services switching center. Mobile services switching center, just now we have seen here, is it not? See, this network subsystem, it is explaining about the internal things. The internal things, that is mobile services switching center and home location register, where it is located, where the SIM is located, where the endpoint is located, and visitor location register. Okay, so where the visitor is located is knowing the visitor location register. Okay, equipment identity register means, so the how the equipment is going to identify through the register. Authentication, how that call is going to authenticate. Okay, is taking care of authentication center. Gateway mobile switching center. Gateway mobile switching center is, it is taking the responsibility of transmitting the call. Taking the responsibility of transmitting the call. It is gateway. Gateway is nothing but, as you know, it is it is going beyond the limitations, okay, through the proper channel, so otherwise what happens, sometimes we also can stop that at the gateway, okay, at the gateway we can stop, and moreover, so the smooth going of the connections, the uh, calls is through gateway mobile switching center, okay. So SMS gateway, SMS also, if you want to stop through the gateway, or you can access through the SMS, okay. This is the internal the things of what is MSC, mobile switching service centers, okay. Home location registers, visitor location registers, okay. For example, visitor location registers, that is contains selected information from the HLR that enables the selected services for the individual subscriber to be provided, okay. When we save information of the clients of the any information is stored in the database, we know that, okay. So that will be provided. The VLR can be implemented as a separate entity. Our one person is a separate entity, but it is commonly realized as an integral part of the MSC rather than a separate entity. So, but beyond that, it is going to combine with the commonly, it is really realized that integral part of the MSC, mobile switching center, and rather than separate entity, okay. Equipment identity register, that is EIR, is the entity that decides whether a given mobile equipment may be allowed onto the network, okay. See, when we purchase a SIM, there that purchase is enables us to go to call or to receive, is it not? If we are in one network, we cannot call from other network, is it not? When we are registered from that network only we can call, but we can do the calls to the other network, is it not? We can receive, okay. Authentication center, the authentication center is a protected database that contains a secret key also contained in the user's SIM card, is it not? So if you observe that three lines will be there, so that out of three lines, one line will be the secret key. What when you go for the purchase of the SIM card, you have to give your particulars, is it not? That will be the secret information about your Aadhaar card or like that, about your date of birth, whatever is saved in the secret key, okay. Gateway mobile switching center, gateway, as I told you, where whenever you want you can stop, or whenever you want you can continue, okay. That is SIM SMS gateway is also there, is it not? Suppose if you want to, if you don't want to get all the SMS, that unwanted SMS, by keeping some notice, some giving some uh, the by sending some SMS to the network, so that the unnecessary the SMSs we cannot receive. That is the gateway option, okay. So base station substation, base station base station substations are BTS and BSCs, okay. So base transceiver station, what is base transceiver station? The base transceiver station is used in GSM network, compresses the radio transmitter receivers. So it compresses, or it simplifies that the signals. It simplifies the signals and it receivers. Okay, it receives, and through the receiver, through the mic, and we are able to listen. Okay, base station controller, which is controlling the base station, which is controlling the base station, okay. And mobile stations are, that is mobile equipment, or as they are most widely known, cell or mobile phones are the section of the GSM. It is a part of the GSM, and that the user sees and operates, okay, where we can see and we can operate, okay. And there are a number of elements to the cell phone, although the two main elements are the main hardware and the SIM card. As you know, to keep the SIM card through to the mobile, so there are so many components in your mobile, but broadly it is divided into the hardware and the SIM, okay. And one more part of the architecture of the GSM is operation and support system. What is operation and support system? So it taking the responsibility of operating the subsystems of the architecture. Okay. So the OSS or operation support subsystem is an element within the overall GSM mobile communications network architecture that is connected to components of the NSS and BSC. It is communicated to the NSS and BSC. It is used to control and monitor the overall GSM. As I told you, it communicates and connecting to the, it is taking the overall the responsibility of the NSS and BSC. Okay, so GSM network interfaces are is using to 2G GSM uses. Okay, 2G GSM uses defined standard interfaces to connect the network entities to enable interoperability for equipment different manufacturers. Is it not? Now we are in 5G, but when we are interoperability is used for different networks is taking care of 2G system. Call setup and call handling in GSM. How the call can be set up and call will be handling. Okay. So to know this, we can see the diagram here. What is the procedure of call handling and call monitoring? Okay. Okay. So here we can see the procedures of that mark MS starts network access. Okay. And call monitoring system, that is MS is contracted. Okay. And mobile to mobile call is, that is mobile to switching starts network access, switching network access. And MIC, that is mobile internal call is using for special case, that is both MSS and same MSC. Okay, mobile call and mobile communication, right, between the mobiles. See, this is also known as the mobile ongoing calls, mobile originating call mobiles. Okay. So how the communication is transmitting between EMS, BSS and MSC, VLR, HLR. Okay. Mobile switching and backup system and mobile switching center and other just now so how that communication is passing. Okay, here it is explaining through 1, 2, 3, 4 like that: channel request, send subscriber, identification, authentication, request triples. Is it not? So the overall, when you are trying to call somebody, before that it is going to connect. Is it not? Whether the call internal, these are the internal things are happening. These are the internal things are happening or explained about traffic channel assignment. Okay, traffic channel assignment, commands channel assignment, and setup connection to subscriber, setup connection to B subscriber, V or A subscriber to B subscriber. Okay, and GSM handover. The next topic is GSM handover, how the calls are going to be handling. One of the key elements of a mobile phone or cellular telecommunication system is that the system is split into many small cells to provide good frequency, reuse and coverage. See, when you want to call to somebody, if he is far away from a remote area, so there are the repeaters, is it not? There are the repeaters like that, so that the strength, it strengthens the signals. It strengthens the signals. Telecommunication system is that the system is split into many small cells, to provide a good frequency, to reuse the coverage, and coverage. Okay. What are the different requirements of our GSM handover? The process of handover or handoff within any cellular system is of great importance. Yes. So it is a critical process, and if performed incorrectly, handover can result in the loss of the call. Is it not? So handovering is a major play role. We can say it is a major role. Okay. So what happens if the handover is not uh, capable of doing something? So what happens? The call may be disconnect. This handover may be from one network to other network. Maybe from one network to other network. How the calls are going to be handing over. Okay, so there are the types of GSM handovers. Intra BTS handover. Okay, so the intra within the because it is internal handover. So this form of GSM handover occurs if it is required to change the frequency or slot being used by a mobile because of interference or other reasons. In this form of GSM handover, the mobile remains attached to the same base station transceiver but changes the channel or slot. But what happens? It may be change the slots. It may be change the slots or change the channels. Okay, within the some network. Inter BTS intra BSC handover. That is from network to network how the calls are going to be connected. This is for the GSM handover. For GSM handover occurs when the mobile moves out of the coverage area of one BTS but into another controlled by the same BSC. In this instance, the BSC is able to perform the handover and it assigns a new channel and slot to the mobile before releasing the old BTS from communicating within the mobile. Okay. So inter BSC handover is also is capable of from network to network. Okay. It is more involved form of handover has to be performed. Okay, handling over not only from one BTS to another BTS but one BSC to another BSC. For this, the handover is controlled by the MSC. Okay, MSC, that is Mobile Service Switching Center, is taking care of this. The mobile switching center handover. This is handover occurs when changing between the networks. Changing between the networks. The two MSCs involve negotiation to control the handover. Okay. So GSM handovers process. What is the GSM handovering process? The GSM which is using for TDMA. Okay, TDMA technique that is transmitted. It transmits through TDMA and for slot in 8 and similarly the receiver only receives for one slot in 8, that is one slot of 8. So as a result for this re- receiver fracture section of the mobile could be ideal for 6 slots out of the total 8. It is capable of taking the 6 slots. Okay, and a key element of the GSM handover is timing and synchronization. Timing is also we discussed, is it not? For every communication, every packet, so the timing is also a taking part. Timing and synchronization. Okay, so there are a number of possible scenarios that may occur dependent upon the level of synchronization. According to the synchronization, the various steps are going to be taken. Okay, so inter-system handover. How the internally the system handover is taking place through the that 2G to LTE, and there is the need to hand over from one technology to another. So often the 2G GSM coverage will be better than the other and GSM is often used as the fallback. The fallback is nothing but the for safe side it is using for to the inter-system handover. So when the handovers of this nature are required, it is considerably more complicated than a straightforward only. Okay, straightforward only. So they require two technically very different systems to handle the handover. They require to technically verify. Technically it has to be verified with the different handovers. Okay, so GSM security and encryption. GSM security and encryption. GSM security is the most secured cellular telecommunication system available today. GSM has its security methods standardized. Its security methods are standardized, and GSM maintains end-to-end security by retaining the confidentiality of calls and anonymity of the GSM subscriber. Also, it maintains a security for the GSM level. For the GSM level, okay. At the same time, mobile station authentication is also taking place. Okay, so GSM network authenticates the identity of the subscriber. So GSM is going to consider the identity of the subscriber through the use of the challenge response mechanism. Is it not? We purchase the SIM means we are a customer of the particular network. Is it not? So that it is taking care of it is going to, of the a subscriber by giving some identity by the number. Is it not? So a 128-bit random number, that is R and a 128-bit random number is sent to the microstation. That microstation computes the 32-bit signed response, 32-bit signed response, so that based on the encryption of the R and with the authentication algorithm, using the individual subscriber authentication key. So internally there are many things are going to happen when you are calling and you are receiving a call for different networking systems. Okay, signaling and data confidentiality. So the SIM contains the ciphering key generating algorithm, is it not? When you purchase the SIM, you can see the internally three lines will be there, so that ciphering the key generating algorithm, it will generate so that it produces a 64-bit ciphering key, so that it will produce the 64-bit ciphering key. So this key is computed by applying the same random number that used in the authentication process. Okay, so when it is generated is using for process the ciphering key generating algorithm within the individual subscription authentication key. Okay, so GSM provides an additional level of security. GSM provides, there are many security levels, so additional level of security by having a way to change the ciphering key, making the system for more resistant to ever dropping, Subscriber identity confidentiality. So whenever the subscriber is going to identify with his confidentiality number, is it not, with his confidentiality information, okay, for the networking system through the temporary mobile subscriber entity, that is temporary mobile subscriber entity. Okay, so where are the new data services also provided by this GSM? So what are the new data services are provided by the GSM is about the telecommunication services, about the telephone services, about the SMSs, and about the more of this. Okay, so these services can be charged as per the call basis, is it not? So these additional services are charged with the call charges. Okay, and international call or long distance call. Okay, that may be a international ISDN or maybe local call or call made during peak hours. Okay, so sometimes what happens when for the private networking, it depends on the when it is a peak stage hours. Okay, the separate timing, the separate charges will be there for that. Okay, so here in this we can discuss about the SMS services. As we know how we can send the SMS, we can receive the SMSs. This is about the SMS services and GPRS services. What is GPRS service? This is GPRS service, you can browse. Okay, that is play games on the internet. Okay, you can browse that through the net by your connection and you can play the games and download the movie. So for that now we are going, we are doing, we are taking the connections, prepaid connections, is it not? So the how much amount that is there in your account, till that time you can browse and you can play the games. So that if the amount is finished, you can go for the recharge, so that you can use the GPRS services. So in the same way, we have supplementary services. What are the supplementary services? In the initial stage of we studied that call bearing and call conferencing and closed users group and advice of charge. Supplementary services, when you want to call and you apart from that going call, you may get some information that the status of the third party. Supplementary services, that is call bearing, call conferencing, and closed, or maybe it is limits, beyond limits, or it is switched off like that. Okay, here we can see the teleservices, that is teleservices are connected with the voice calls, video text, and short text messages. Okay, video text and facsimile is nothing but how video text is we are going to use and what the different issues are there. Okay, short SMS, how can we can send through the teleservices. Okay, as we know, we voice calls, video text, short messages, and bearer services. Okay, This is about the topic that today we discussed about GSM. Okay, so GSM, and just to go through this, if you want to know more about this, you can mail me so that we can communicate and we can discuss about this. Okay, thank you.